Good morning, friends. This is Lee Kersey, the Simple Georgian. I want to make a little short video dealing with trucking and trip planning. And my plan is in the future to go over some of these things that I have learned over the years with trucking and map reading, just doing some of the basic skills to I don't know if y'all can hear that train in the background. It's probably a couple of miles up the road, but he's letting everybody know he's coming through. But anyhow, I'm going to try to do some videos on some basics for what you need to know just as a general person, just for traveling. And if you're into trucking or transport of any kind, some basics on map reading, things of that nature, because we have too many people depending on GPSs and winding up in places they don't need to be at. Even in cars and stuff, not just big trucks, everything. Too many people depend on a GPS. So in the future, when I get some time, I'm gonna sit down and show y'all how I plan trips, show y'all how I pick my routes and this and that and the other, and go from there. Because I've got 30 years experience on the road, and I'm gonna try. Sorry about this. I hadn't been too long woke up. And there's not enough coffee on a Friday morning. Go figure. I'm going to try to make it simple and show y'all how I was taught and things of that nature, and go from there. Give me a sec. I got somebody coming up here trying to talk to me. Hold on. Sorry about that. This guy asked me if I had jumper cables to give him a jump, and I don't. He's gonna have to call somebody. But anyway, I'm gonna try to show y'all the way I was taught with this stuff, with the trucks and map reading skills and things of that nature, and go from there. It's just gonna take some time, because I'm gonna have to break it down into sections and do it as I can, just like with my, showing my pipe collection, or tobacco collection, or whatever. I'm gonna have to do it a little bit at a time, and it's gonna take me probably, I don't know, a few months to get it all done, but we'll get it worked out. But yeah, I'm gonna try to break it down to where I can show you all the basics on how we plan this stuff out and go from there. And hopefully it'll help somebody out with this. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, just like right now, you need to try to really work on your skills as far as planning your trips. Because like my trip yesterday, it wasn't but a 500-mile trip. We don't have but like 11 hours or something like that, but it's supposed to be, with your on Google Maps it said it was 500 something miles, but by the time Google Maps is always, you can figure Google Maps is always going to be 10 to 15% off, so you can figure easy 560 miles, which should be doable in 11 hours. So I should have been able to drive, drop and hook, and start working my way back up for my next pickup, which is 300 miles away. But what this video is about is on your trip planning. I got in an area yesterday where there was a wreck on the road, and it shut the road down for a period of time, and that slowed me up. On top of being in the mountains, which slowed the truck up for, and pulling. I mean, if you can't average 65, 60 or 65 the whole way up, um, when you're in the mountain and you got a load and you pull in at 25 mile an hour, that cuts your speed tremendously. So that cuts into your time. So anyway, what should have been about a 8-9 hour trip wound up being 11 hours. And by the time I got unloaded, empty and everything like that, my time was gone, so I couldn't go nowhere. And now I'm supposed to be 300 miles up the road by 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I don't see it happening. I'm going to push it, but it's going to be like really tight, just in order to have my trip for the weekend. But at any rate, I'll work on that schedule to try to show y'all about trip planning and stuff like that. So maybe that'll give y'all some help, because like I said, we've got too many people out here following the GPS, and GPS is not friendly to truck and trailers, especially when you get into areas that little towns and stuff that trucks ain't supposed to go in. You got low overpasses. You've got areas where the truck and trailer don't need to be at on city roads. So, like I said, I'm going to work on some of that, try to get some of that together. But I just wanted to update y'all on what my plans are in the future for the trucking, or for just basic everyday skills. It's not necessarily for trucking, it's just basic everyday skills. And things that should have been taught in school, because I come through school in the 80s. I graduated in 90, and I just told my age, but anyway, at any rate, map reading was something that was taught in school. We was learning it in middle school and high school. And it wasn't to the extent of what we had to learn for the trucking, but map reading skills was part of the program that we was taught. And it's not being taught in schools anymore. Everybody's just following these GPSs. And, GPS are good. I'm not saying they're not good. Because I use one. In certain areas, I'll use one. But for the most part, I do not depend on it. Just because of the fact that it has put me in bad situations, and it's not as dependable as needed for what, even the truck specific GPS is not always right. I know I had one that I'd get over into Dallas, and it would take me off of 20, run me up 635, about 4 or 5 exits, run me down through town and back up on the 635 and then back around on the 20. When if you've been to Dallas, 20 goes right on by 635. It goes on the south side of Dallas. And because that was a quote unquote truck specific GPS, when it told me to turn off on 635, I'm like, okay, it's going to take me around the north side of Dallas and I'll be all right. But no, it took me up 4 or 5 exits, run me down through town, one of them little suburbs on the east side of Dallas, turn me around through, behind some grocery stores and back around and back out on the 635 over the 20. And, I'd never been to that place I was going to with that particular load. So I didn't know if it was running me up 635 and around the top side of Dallas or not. But no, it didn't. It run me over, like I said, and brought me right back down to 20. I run Dallas, or 20 all the way through Dallas, and went up 35 up between Fort Worth and Dallas. And So, even though it's a truck specific GPS, does not mean that it'll work, that it'll keep you from getting into a bind. And so, yeah, that's stuff that you need to look at. And you need to look at your trips prior to going in so you'll know what to expect when you get there. We have the technology now. We can look at Google Earth. Google Earth has saved me a bunch of time to where I could get into a place and see if I could park for the night and be there first thing of the morning, and it'll show you, whether you can get into a place, whether they have truck parking or whatever. So I'll work on that, and like I said, we're gonna have to take it in stages, but I'll get it done, and we'll go from there. I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you.